In 2017.
Hey! You guys! Jesus!
Wow. So in 2017,
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
Let's ride!
Boom. Okay. Hey everybody, it's 7:01 p.m. It's I'm Monday and I am pulling together all of the energy I have. I don't know, had a weird day physically. I think I've been a little dehydrated or something. I don't think I drank that much yesterday now that I think about it. And so I've been slugging the salt water. I had a little bit of a headache before. That kind of went away. But then there was tummy disruption. And I said, whoa. And that can just take it out of you, man. It really can. Little tummy disruption, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So I'm pulling it together. I really am. And I think the only thing that's making me go right now is the fact that, well, not go. I'm not going right now. You sick bastards. I think the only thing that's keeping me going right now is the fact that we're going to be able to make fun of people tonight. That is everything to me. That means everything to me. And yes, the energy is very weird tonight. I'm looking at the chat room right now from the several chat rooms. It's good to see you all. It's good to see you all. It really is. It was a nice weekend. I do want to put a couple of things up front. First of all, couple people asked if I'm going to be live on air on my birthday Thursday night, or if I'm taking that night off because it's Easter weekend and there's no Playhouse on Friday night and stuff like that. I'm going to do a show on Thursday night. And I just want to hang out with you guys, and we'll do a show. And what we do on that night, I don't know, but it'll be fun. And yeah, who knows who calls in, who I can get in the studio. I don't know, but maybe we don't even go for the full 2 hours. But at 7:00, I'll go live, or at least for a little bit. And on Thursday night, I'm going to give away what we're going to start off with tonight as 6 silver quarters, and I'm going to be adding a lot more. For my 41st birthday, I'm going to be giving you guys a lot more. And that's, of course, all going to be for the Super Chat raffle on Thursday. So all throughout this week, quite frankly, YouTube, Rumble, the goldpillsonpill.net, and quite frankly, superchat.com. That's all going toward what we always do, a weekly giveaway. And I'll make sure that it's a lot of fun. Oh, you know what? Before we go any further on that, too, it was brought to my attention that there are still a couple people out there who have been sending super chats to the Stream Elements, which we moved away from Stream Elements and we went back to Stream Labs like 6 or 7 months ago. And so I went there, and lo and behold, there was a couple super chats from Knight's Demon, Bonafide Karen, Wendy, even Jay Britz, which is puzzling. So everybody, just please bookmark quitefranklysuperchat.com. And whatever payment processor we're using at that time in the show's history, the URL will forward there. So don't bookmark Streamlabs or Stream Elements out of ease. Just quitefranklysuperchat.com. That's why I got the URL. So I want to shout those people out, and there you have it. I also would like to call your prayers and attention to Tony Black's cause and his life and all that. He's been sadly moved into hospice, and we all love him very much. And he has become such a, I wish him nothing but comfort and everything else. I don't know what the situation is. We don't really get too much information because we're not family, even though we are family. But I just wanted to put that out there because I know this is an audience that prays fervently, and please just keep his soul in your prayers. Such a wonderful friend to all of us, and I'll keep you up to date with all that stuff. You know that he's all right, one way or another. He's all right, as he's assured us many times in the past. So, life well lived, and just want to make sure he feels that love when he needs it the most. So there's that. Okay. Let me see. A little bit easier, something to chew on over here. I wanted to throw you guys something, since it is now the time to go outside and look at the sky, do a little bit of stargazing at night, a little bit of cloud watching in the day. We had a friend of the show, his name is Pat, write into me, and I'm just, there's a little bit of a bonus out there just to get you guys looking at the sky a little bit more, and hopefully you're seeing clouds and not all this thatch work and bullshit and plane farts and everything else. Here it is. It would be an interesting idea, says Pat, to do a segment on some listener-submitted interesting cloud formations. You could advertise it for a few weeks and get some submissions and show them. I took this one in Tampa the other day, and it made me think of George Washington. And I said, holy shit. That's a founding father cloud. Absolutely. I can see George Washington or Thomas Jefferson there, you know? So listen, any kind of a normal looking cloud, don't be sending me, hey, look how bad the skies are over here. I know we have them bad over here too. But if you happen to see George Washington in the sky, just take a picture of it and send it to me. Because, you know, the spring is just getting ramped up. A lot of you are going to be traveling around the country, road trips, seeing things that you haven't seen before, or going back to your favorite destinations. Send me anything, and we'll just put it on air. I thought that was a nice little extra. So there's that. I have a couple other extras here for you too. By the way, please just like this, whether you're watching it live or on demand. Like this, comment, whether it's live or on demand. Share it. Make sure that you are subscribed and that you have the notification bell on. We have looked into this a few times. The whole idea of whether or not composting, human composting, was going to be used in any significant way in fertilizing crops that will then be part of the food supply here at home. A very Soylent Green kind of a situation. And that's popped up before. We haven't talked about it in a couple of years. I believe the process was called water cremation. It's essentially just like you, instead of, you know, putting somebody inside of a crematorium and just, you know, burning them, turning them to ashes, and hopefully you get all of the ashes that is your loved one and not mixed in with God knows how many other people, raccoons, who the hell knows. But we were talking about the opposite of that. It's called water cremation, where you just put a body inside of a vat of some kind of a solution that literally just strips and dissolves a body down to nothing but the bones. And then where that solution, that nutritious sludge, I think some vile animal ended up saying at one point, wherever that nutritious sludge showed up, maybe it's actually in this article here. This is from slaynews.com. I don't know how serious the reporting is over here, but it's a real story. I just grabbed it for the hell of it. State advances, this is down in Oklahoma, I think. Oklahoma lawmakers are advancing a chilling plan to begin using decomposed human remains as soil fertilizer to grow food for public consumption. I think when we were talking about this, it was some northern border state, somewhere, maybe Minnesota, Dakota, Montana. I don't know where the hell it was, but it was up there. Despite widespread backlash, the state is pushing toward controversial legislation to legalize human composting. The move has ignited outrage from conservatives who warn that the state is adopting policies long associated with radical blue state agendas. The Oklahoma State House passed HB 3660 in a 59-37 vote, advancing a measure that would classify natural organic reduction, NOR, commonly referred to as human composting, as a form of cremation under state law. State Representative Jim Shaw of Oklahoma blasted the bill, warning it represents fundamental departure from conservative principles. Quote, today the House advanced HB 3660, a bill to legalize the use of composted human bodies as fertilizer. If this bill is put into law, Oklahoma joins 14 blue states that have legalized this process. So instead of outlawing this type of practice outright, we're on track to take the use of humanure. Did you hear what I just said? As fertilizer, another disgusting step forward. The bill is sponsored by State Rep Edie Dempsey and State Senator Casey Murdoch, both representing rural districts. Despite Oklahoma's Republican supermajority, the legislation passed with support from 43 GOP lawmakers, 36 Republicans, and 1 Democrat voted against it. Oklahoma House Speaker Kyle Hilbert also backed the measure. Shaw confronted Dempsey directly before the vote, pressing him on whether human remains should be used as fertilizer. He says, okay, I got to ask, do you really believe that human remains, or even my favorite subject, human poop, why is it his favorite subject? I don't know, are okay as fertilizer? Here's the answer. 1 second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, I just got to ask, do you really believe that human remains, or even my favorite subject, human poop, are okay as compost or fertilizer? Do you really believe that?
In this situation, yes.
Next. So, Oklahoma, be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. Isn't Mike Baldwin from Oklahoma? Mike Baldwin, better watch out. You got to watch out. So, there's that. It has expanded. There is an energy crisis that is deepening around the world. And a lot of people are going to temporary austerity measures that are making some people here and elsewhere a little bit more, squeamish, because it really kind of harkens back to the COVID lockdown days. Egypt is told that restaurants and shops, they have to close early. There's that. Of course, Australia is always looking for a reason to fuck people over there. Let's see here. The premier calls for COVID-style protocols as fuel crisis explodes. A key state premier warns states can't act alone as hundreds of servos run dry and fear grows over what comes next for Aussie drivers. I don't know how the gasoline is by you, but I'm happy that we got to enjoy at least like 2 weeks of $2.75 gas. That was nice. Flirting with $5 now. So we'll see where it goes. Everything must run its course, right? Anyway, here's another one for you that we will probably do tomorrow when I hope we can do it tomorrow when Jay Dyer and Timothy Gordon return to the show. French Masonic Lodge at the heart of murky murder trial. This is going to be just so fun. 22 people on trial in France on Monday on charges of murder and other serious crimes centered on members of a Masonic lodge accused of running hit squads. Masonic hit squads. 13 of the defendants face life imprisonment. Those in the dock include 4 military personnel from France's Foreign Intelligence Service, 2 police officers, a retired domestic intelligence officer, a security guard, and 2 business executives. Before you ask, yes, Candace Owens has already weighed in on it because, of course, French hit squads, something that's supranational, not supernatural, but supranational. And so that there's already several dots being, but it's just one. It's the conspiracy theory tumbling down. It's crazy. It feels great. It really does. It feels great. And it's just going to make for so many more conspiracy newbies to put out their own little TikToks and, that they do after they ask Grok to explain the conspiracy theory, they'll go out and they'll make their little conspiracy TikTok and get 3 million, 100 billion, quadrillion views. And that's that. So that's what, but who cares? As long as it all starts changing. We'll do more of that on tomorrow. Here's some real active terror, though. Headline from CBS, 12 tons of Kit Kat bars have been stolen in a chocolatey heist in Europe, Nestle says. A massive 12-ton shipment of Nestle's Crunch Kit Kat bars was stolen in the chocolatey heist that risks causing a shortage in stores right before Easter. What would we ever do? Kit Kat, owned by Swiss food giant Nestle, told AFP on Saturday that a truck transporting 413,793 units of its new chocolate range has been stolen during transit in Europe. The shipment disappears last week while heading between production and distribution, and that's that. We've always encouraged people to have a break with Kit Kat, but it seems thieves have taken the message too literally and made a break with more than 12 tons of our chocolate. Well, I would check France. Everything else is going on over there. And, speaking of this, before we get into all of the No King stuff, Sunday, Palm Sunday, and after Aurora and I left Mass at 7, we went to the 7:30 Mass, and when we left, I brought her to breakfast, just daddy and daughter. And we went to breakfast, and I sat there at the counter, and I wasn't really feeling too hungry, and I said, what I haven't had in a long time after leaving church on a Sunday morning, because we usually now, especially the last 2 years, we've been going to church on Saturday night. And that's coffee and a buttered roll. Man, oh man. So I'm going to give you something, because we're not going to, we'll do No Kings for at least 40 minutes or so. I've got a lot of clips over here. But just so you guys have something to send in for Super Chat or something else, I want to hear from you at some point. I would love to hear from you. Did you have any, Sunday morning after Mass or services as a kid, if you went to church or whatever it was, did you had some kind of Sunday morning food combination that really makes you nostalgic? Because coffee and dunking buttered rolls into coffee, that was it for me. My mother, especially at my grandparents' house, I guess that's something she grew up with or something. But, she gave us a half a cup of kind of sweet and light coffee, just a little bit of sugar, a little bit of cream or something like that. So it's nice and creamy and whatever. And you just dunk the butter roll in there and damn, give me all the rolls you have until this coffee has been completely sopped up. So if you have anything like that, please send it in to me, and we'll get to those in the second half before we end. I have a few submissions from the people out there who follow me on Twitter as well. We can get that kicked up. Okay. No Kings. Do you need an explanation? No, just a bunch of weirdos who don't understand anything other than this is how liberals socialize, and they get together and they have these kind of quasi-religious, semi-psychosexual moments together where they're, they get to just, I don't know. It's almost like it's a performance. There is a lot of virtue signal quality there too. You get to go out there and signal your virtue to people that you don't know and have these kind of quasi temporary relationships you have for the day. That's it. No real connections being made, just a whole bunch of nonsense. And when you ask them what they're doing there, you don't get much back. So I'm sure you're going to expect a lot of the stuff that we're going to see tonight. But the first thing I want to do is I want to highlight a good horse. A good horse. Here it is. LAPD officer on horseback knocks down a protester who just gets in the horse's way and won't leave. And here you go.
Watch your back.
The whole practice of going out there and facing off with the police and putting yourself in a position where you're going to get run over by somebody or you're going to get clubbed, you're going to get sprayed, and then everybody around you acts indignant, yeah, fucking A, man, you, and it's like, God, you're so effete, limp penis. This is just so, this is less than masturbation. This is less than masturbatory. Less than. There's nothing even comes out at the end. This is just it's just stupidity. Anyway, you knew you were going to get one of these people over here. Some woman is invoking the name of Jesus, saying that he was a liberal. And This one is by way of Jeremiah Hicks.
Jesus was a liberal. Where did you get that from?
Well, Jesus was a liberal. He loved his neighbors. He washed the feet of, of the poor people. He took people in.
He just walked around washing everybody's feet. That's what he did. Washed the feet of the poor people. Washed the feet of his disciples.
Fed the poor. So that's what we try to do as liberal people, is take care of.
Well, he multiplied bread and fish, feed people. Other than that, he actually kind of just lived on the goodwill of others. Didn't really have the resources to feed everybody aside from the occasional mass miracle. I just love listening to these assholes because me, I don't have to keep disclaiming all the time. I'm not going to sit here and be able to quote Bible verses just off the top of my head. I'm not there yet. I don't know how far quickly I'll ever get there. But to these people, Jesus is just a big piece of silly putty you can do anything with. He's just Play-Doh. That's it. Jesus is just a living embodiment of how everybody legally treats the 14th Amendment. If we call something a civil right, if we call something a human right, or if we think something is just generally good, then under the 14th Amendment, it's law. It's law. It's for everybody. It's a civil right. So Jesus is just a hippie wimp who would have apparently just been like, yeah, man, don't judge anyone. Hey, man, don't yuck someone else's yum, man. Just don't be that that's judgy. Play-Doh Jesus. You just fashion him into whatever shape you want. That's what these people do. They're crazy.
Communities, and I think Jesus was that.
So would Jesus support abortion?
I think he would support a woman's right to choose.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would have done. That's what the appeal to authority in itself is crazy, to just project onto Jesus Christ his political alignment and affiliation with your cause. That's hilarious in and of itself. But the fact that he would have respected a individual human woman's decision about murdering her child as if there was actually ever a choice to be made. Yeah, that's like, just don't judge, man. You don't know what that woman's going through. The kids are negligible.
I think he died for all of us, yeah.
Yeah, he died to kill the children.
So do you think Jesus died for all of the black babies that are being killed right now from abortion?
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm totally allowed to use my white liberal woman privileges to mold Jesus into whatever political shape I want him to exist. But please don't bring black people up. That I can't go there. That line I can't cross. We can sit down and talk about my imaginary friend Jesus all day, though.
Think Jesus cares about the unborn babies?
1.7 billion have been killed since we liberated women, by the way. 1.7 billion.
Jesus was a liberal, and because Jesus was a liberal, he supports what they're doing out here. He supports abortion. I don't think Jesus was a liberal.
What do you think he was?
I think he was our savior.
Do you think he voted for Trump?
Jesus doesn't vote. He's in heaven.
I mean, that's just the common sense. But, she's serving a secular purpose here by invoking the name of God. Who do you think? So you would vote for Trump? Like, that's the only thing they could do. That's the only thing they could do. Oh, man. Good golly. Okay. All right, we got Frank Scales. I think his name on Instagram is Surge Philly. Frank Scales, he was, I don't know if he's in Philadelphia or something like that, but he met up with a woman dressed as a banana. And you can already tell where this is going.
Why are you out protesting No Kings?
Because I believe in the basic fundamental principles of our democracy. And if we don't show up now, when it's the most important time to show up, when we see those that contract eroding, right? Our Constitution is a contract. And so to not show up at this critical moment is to abandon what makes us amazing
Oh, the contract is eroding, everybody. Oh, man. Oh, this is just so bullshit. The contract's eroding. Oh, man. They're so stupid. But then again, she's dressed as a damn banana. What do you want?
Amazing.
How is the Constitution eroding right now?
Well, the
democracy. The democracy.
Now I'm going to sound like an idiot.
No, you are an idiot, and you're dressed as a fucking banana.
So we have the... Oh my God, I can't believe, like, I'm put on... All right.
You can't believe you were asked why you showed up that day?
We have the Trump out there right now pushing up against protesters in major cities.
Where? How? Where is he pushing? I don't even think he's paying attention, to be honest.
We have Minneapolis as a main show of that, and the violence used against protesters within that city. So there's plenty of reasons. I can go on and on and on.
But of course I can't. I can go on and on and on, but if you ask me to go on, it's just, listen, I have something to do. I have to go get peeled.
But I can't because I'm in the middle of a protest.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of an act that requires me to speak my mind about a specific cause that we have gathered together to address. I can't talk to you about this cause because I have to be here to protest in favor of the cause. Okay? So, more from Frank Scales. I think, he is in Philadelphia. This is later on in the afternoon, and this is when he gets a nice healthy dose of Death to America and all the other good stuff that we have to live around with now. That used to be relegated to the Middle East and some dusty part of the Middle East, and now it's here.
Long live the Intifada! Death to the Zionist entity! Death to America! And death to Dan Zimmerman!
So again, still following me.
For peace! For harmony! Peace! For harmony! For the settler colony! In the settler colony!
So why are you guys blocking me?
Why are you walking through the crowd?
I'm not walking. You're not in the crowd. The crowd is over there, so why don't you go back to the crowd? Again, all blocking me. Not in the crowd. The crowd is over there. Can I do my job as a journalist, please?
Incredible. Incredible. Death to America. Death to America gone. Gone. Just gone. You know, I know how the law views things like burning of an American flag as free speech. And perhaps at one time we were able to balance out that principle of free speech and watch one rabid asshole go and burn a flag and have everybody, somebody swoop in and save the flag and have a picture perfect moment, and everybody else using their free speech to tell the other person, hey, how about you get the fuck out of here? You're not welcome here anymore. You're not welcome here anymore. But that's harder and harder to defend because this is becoming a lot more prevalent. I'm not talking about this craziness being a majority, anything close to it, but I don't know. I kind of feel like when you have Death to America being proclaimed in the streets, that's a very specific kind of declaration that's being made. And I think you should be rounded up right there. That's what I think. But yeah, let's check in on some Boomer. Hanging out with Nate Friedman. Nate Friedman showed up to see what some of the very loyal, Boomer gray bushes are saying about everything going on.
It seems like there's a lack of diversity here today. That it's mostly people who look like you and I. And I just
It is not for black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a black person. It is not safe for them.
This woman ruined your country. You have to understand this woman ruined your country more than anybody else.
And they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
Gotcha. Okay.
Fucking do-gooder moron.
Wow. Okay. What do you think about voter ID? Do you think it's racist?
It's 100% a tactic to control the population and prevent people from voting, so that the only votes so that the gerrymandering can work, so that white voters can vote in white Christian males.
Have you been voting blue most of your life?
I voted blue in the womb.
Oh, good. The safe space of the womb. Get the fuck out of here. So crazy. Then, I mean, listen, it's just open air. There's just a lot of people that most of them need to just go to institutions. Most of them. We need, I know that there are mental health clinics out there and institutions, but we need more. We need more prisons, it seems, prisons and mental asylums. And everybody has to be just kept under lock and key until the generations just kind of, I don't know, just kind of filter through.
No death camps on American soil!
So she's talking about, I think she said no death camps on American soil. You're going to see a lot of strange creatures.
Ask what you're saying?
No death camps on American soil!
No cats?
No death camps!
Okay, so that's why you're here protesting today?
Yeah, because those camps are death camps. And no one wants to say you killing human beings in those camps are raping them.
Okay, all right. Okay, with the saliva. Get the fuck out of here. Just get out. I didn't notice the saliva earlier on today. My stomach is turning. I already have a weak stomach right now. I'm looking at this woman's spittle. Oh, God help me. All right. They're in the death camps. Crazy, man. Just nuts. We have a British monarchist. You get a little bit of everything here, guys. We got a British monarchist. Doesn't want Trump to be a king in the United States. Okay? Loves her king, says Charles is just the shit. But doesn't want Trump to be a king in the United States. Many such cases, of course.
No kings, no dictator, no tyrants.
Who would that be? Who is this?
This is Trump.
So you basically want...
She's being into the British monarchist is being interviewed by a woman named Jessica Pleasant. And I think she's Asian. And she's also dressed like a chicken. So I think the fact that she's not white and she's dressed in a goofy outfit might have brought down the defenses of this British woman, so that she can kind of like chuckle her way through her own insanity and not think that she's getting, put on the spot or, put on display.
Trump's go. Like, you don't want him as the leader.
I don't want him here.
Name one person who is the best fit to lead this nation then. Come on, give me one name.
Kamala Harris.
But she lost in 2024.
I know. I'm not from here.
She's not even from here. Where are you from?
England.
England? Where's that? But there's no England anymore because of women like this.
And she has king over there, but she doesn't want any king here.
No, not here. They can stay in England.
If you can rate your king, your own king.
Oh yeah, we'd have Charles. He's great.
He's great. So you're okay with Charles as a king?
In England.
In England, you're okay for another type of king, but not here.
Yes, not Trump.
Not Trump. But I don't know what to ask after this. This is complicated.
It's very complicated. Maybe you should ask someone else.
Yeah, maybe you should ask somebody else, because I'm just here for what reason? Get the hell out of this damn country. Get out of this country. Just get out. Just get out. Get out. Leave. Just get out. Just want to pick you up and throw you across the ocean. Just go. Get out. You're stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid. This guy, Robert De Niro, can't even fucking read. This poor, not, I mean, I hate to say it, he looks like George Washington's retarded cousin. He looks like George Washington's very, very retarded and deformed cousin. And I don't know, he has a poem or something that was prepared for him, and he can't even read it. He should have practiced it a little bit. Here's 2 minutes of Robert De Niro trying to be a part of the big day.
I support this movement 150%.
Yeah.
But when the crowds are chanting "No Kings," what I'm really hearing, as we all know, is "No Trump."
That's right.
There have been other presidents who...
Hey, you know what, Bobby? Can you lick your finger and turn the page like an old guy? You look like an old guy that has, like, you know, always licks his fingers to turn the page on things. When was the last time you licked your finger to turn a piece of paper over? You look like a finger licker. Can't stand you.
Tested the constitutional limits of their power, but none have been such an existential threat to our freedoms and security. None, except Trump.
How?
He must be stopped, and he must be stopped now.
And what does that mean? It's 2026. It's March of 2026. And we got him until the end of, 2028? Early 2029? What does that mean? He's got to be stopped now. Do something about it, you old fuck, with your stupid... Listen, I've got a big nose. But look at that piece of shit. Look at that piece of shit hanging off his face.
And that's what No Kings is all about. Because he can't do all the fucked up things that he's been doing without the collusion of Congress and the goons in his administration.
What is he doing?
They're bound to him by fear of losing their own jobs, their own power. It's diabolical.
Yeah.
Afraid of Trump?
Oh, man, I wish he was as bad as everybody said he is. I really do. I wish. I hate to say it, because then we'd have another set of problems, perhaps. But I wish he was as, they're too comfortable with this game. Like, they're just playing a game. And if you interrupt them as they're cosplaying and all that shit, then they get upset that you're not taking them seriously enough, because it's really just all about just being able to perform and, a round of applause, and it's just group therapy. It's sick.
Please. No, they should be more afraid of us.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
But you didn't show up to the polls. You didn't show up to vote. Okay? In fact, you have not been able to account for millions of voters who were there in 2020. You drop that pursuit real quick. Nobody looking for shit.
Because we still believe in the core American values of
No, you don't.
justice, equality, decency, and kindness.
No, you don't. That's not an American value, kindness. Can you imagine that? America was built on kindness. Shut the fuck up. No, that's so stupid. But these are people, they're disabled people talking to each other. Oh, you really hit it there, Bobby. You really got him on that. Well, you were right in the zone on that one, Bobo.
Because we're going from the streets to the ballot box, and because
He already tried that. He sold out Madison Square Garden, and then 2 weeks later, you lost 11 million voters. You already tried that, Bobo.
all deserve a country with no kings, no Trump. Thank you.
Oh, man, I hope that Trump, God, just starve all the states. Oh, will somebody just be a fucking baller? Will somebody be a baller and cut all the states off? It's over. Gosh. Oh, man, I would love to see these cities just have to take care of their own business again. I'd love to see that. They're all crying because people are leaving. They're all crying because people are leaving. Same thing is happening in Los Angeles. People are leaving. Chicago, people are leaving. New York, people are leaving. Trying to beg people to come back. It's like Zimbabwe. It's like Zimbabwe. You chase out all the white farmers, then everybody starts starving. You say, please come back to Zimbabwe. We'll even go back to the old name. What the hell I just wish that these people could get off on something other than other people's money. And they'll say, oh, there's a lot of red states that are dependent on federal subsidies as well. Yeah, that's a problem. It certainly is. Let's all let bygones be bygones and just get back to everybody taking care of their own business. Let's do that. Oh, no, but we don't like balancing checkbooks. We don't have that basic skill. We like to be able to just be up here and do our little stage act. While the money comes in from all 50 states, people getting totally robbed. Would love that. I would love that. But, people need to be educated. They don't get education. We get people like this. Here's some salty twat from Durham, North Carolina. Dressed as Marie Antoinette or something like that. They want 1939 Germany. Let's give them 1789 France. You would be completely torn apart, ravaged, turned into a whore, and then you'd be beheaded. They want the French Revolution. And they're making French Revolution, at least this one dumbass is, during a no King's Day. It's the French Revolution. And of course, because she's a drama club retard, doesn't understand anything really. This is why history is full of predictable cycles. Tens of thousands of people were murdered during the Reign of Terror in France. And it wasn't just the aristocracy, okay? It was the peasants. It was clergy. And then the revolutionaries started purging each other, and it didn't stop. That's the way it was in Russia. It's the way it was in China. Anywhere where this Marxist, deconstructionist, kind of communistic, the proletariat nonsense, it's just crazy. And at the tail end of all of that bloodshed that she's referencing right here in 1789, at the tail end of all of that bloodshed was not just a king that emerged, but an emperor. I mean, just at the end of that revolution, let's give them France, huh? Let's give them France. They're. You didn't expect that from me. You didn't expect that from me, huh? You thought all we on the left ever can do is just make vague references to Hitler? Well, I'll give you a Hitler reference, no doubt about it. I'll give you your Hitler reference, but I'll give you one more. I know about the French Revolution. Well, I know that it happened. I don't know anything that happened in it. To reference the French Revolution as a way of dealing with who you think is a king, who's not a king, and failing to realize that after the end of that failed bloody massacre was not only the return of the aristocracy, but an emperor. Okay. But that's you're talking about dumb children who have never been educated. And because who's educating the people? We've got a little something over here from Randy Weingarten. This is just take a listen to this. Now remember, who you're about to listen to right now is the president of the American Federation for Teachers or something like that. Keep in mind, this woman, this creature, she makes at least $500,000 a year. At least. And meanwhile, American kids are doing worse by the year in math and reading. All right? And these childless orcs who run our teachers' unions, they keep getting paid more and more, even though children cannot do math, they can't read, they're plummeting in everything. This is what she has to deal with. Oh, this is what she has to deliver.
Because
people, responds to the people, solves the people's...
Shut the fuck up. You have a microphone. You don't need to yell. You harridan monster.
...problems is if it is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Incredible. You can tell, just education. Everybody, if you listen to Randy, you got an education that day. Vague references to Lincoln.
That's why standing up and showing up, being in solidarity like millions of us are doing today is so important.
Nope.
It is the only way we can get the government to act in our interests, act in our kids' interests, act in working people's interests.
Oh my gosh. My skull is about to crack open like a crystal wine glass. She's just like one of the opera singers that can crack the wine glass with her voice. What a whining yapper monster. Ugh. What a curse. What an absolute curse. Look, she even has rat teeth. She even has 2 rat teeth. She's probably going to go home and eat an entire wheel of cheese.
It's the only way we can tackle housing costs and healthcare costs and childcare costs and save our damn retirement.
I don't want you to have a retirement, Randy. I don't think you deserve retirement to be saved. Save your own damn retirement, you know? I'm getting fleeced like everybody else in this audience is getting fleeced, so that people like you can keep your retirements, and I haven't been able to contribute to mine in a year and a half. Just incredible. People out there that actually want to take responsibility for their lives and do something independent, and we got to listen to these rat women. Got to listen to these fucking these rodents of unusual size, straight from the Princess Bride in the Fire Swamp. That's what Randy Weingarten is. So there's your teachers union. There's the head honcho. And now this was back in February, mind you, at another No Kings or whatever the hell it was. But this is also Nate Friedman. He actually found one of those teachers, probably part of Randy's union. Take a listen to this. Again, what does this all trickle down to? It trickles down to the American classroom and the last couple of generations of children who have just been absolutely flattened by this level of insanity. It is a level of insanity that has actually been brought to the surface. It's almost like when you run an electrical charge into the ground, into the soil. You see all these worms that'll come up to the top and they'll just start undulating and flopping all around and stuff like that. That's exactly what's going on here. For a while, it was able to just go on, chill out, be subversive in nice, calm ways. The parents, they still think it's the same school system as it was in the 60s and the 70s. They still think it's all the same people. They still think that the people are being taught by World War II veterans and everything's okay. Just keep it calm. Once that veneer was taken away and the veil was turned back and it became a little bit more adversarial, especially after 2020, and everybody wanted to see just exactly what their children were being taught, because all of a sudden they're being taught remotely and you're getting your first glimpses at these ridiculously mind-numbing curriculum. Oh boy, now it's just open war. They weren't squealing like this too, but here you go. Listen to this guy who's teaching children in New York City. But this is all over the place, because remember, even if you are in a garnet red state, institutions like healthcare, education, they are magnets for these types of people.
What do you say to these folks who say, well, if you tax millionaires, they're going to leave the city, and the top 1% pays 40% of the taxes in the city, so what happens if they leave? What's your response?
Well, that's what I would say. It's like we should take their business, and we run it like for the city ourselves.
So if they take their business to Florida, you feel like you can keep it here?
I mean, they can't leave the building. They can't just bring their whole entire work.
And they left. Now, mind you, this is back in February. He's a dummy. one way or another, he's a dummy. He still probably thinks this, even though Kathy Hochul just last week is begging people who went to Florida and the Carolinas to come back because they have things to pay for. Like that's how crazy that this gets. Like there's no capacity to learn or to recalibrate. Everything that's being promised in places like the state of New York or the city of New York, they're not walking back on those promises. That is the promised land. And they're going to get there one way or another. Okay? So there's never a thought in their mind to maybe put some things off or cut a little bit, balance the books, and just kind of, I don't know, tighten your belt. Nope. No, come back because we have wonderful things we want you to pay. We want to pass you the bill. Come back. You could be part. You're New Yorkers again. Awful. And this is the scum that stays behind and is on the front line.
Workforce to Florida, right? They can't bring all of the resources that they have to build the business here to Florida, right? That's a whole thing. And that's where you would even say if we're building a real movement, right, to stop that, we'd also make it illegal for them to actually leave, right? We would fine them to hell if they're going to try to abandon their property here, right? Because clearly people do need to work, right? People do need to
How about you start a business, you fat fuck? How about that? They can't leave. We should make it illegal for them to leave. People need to work. How about you start a business, you smart fat fuck? I'm sorry, I'm very, very cursy tonight. How about you start a business, frumpy? Huh? Can see the grease in your hair. Start a business. Employ people, but you're not that smart, right? You're just socialist smart. Where, other people put the risk out there. They start a business. They go out there. They have a vision. They go for it. And you're the one that sits back and goes, you're making profit. Can I just take a little? Oh, don't be greedy. Fucking grease ball.
a living.
So that's Charles Berry, and while that might have been one of the craziest things I've ever heard in hundreds of street interviews, what matters more is that he's a teacher for New York public schools.
Of course.
Imagine that garbage being spewed in your kid's class.
And it is every day. All over the place. Again, that's from Nate Friedman. He does good work. Just nuts, man. Nuts. Here's one last one. I have a little bit more on the other. I want to get to your super chats and all that stuff. And then in the second half, I got to show you, perhaps you've seen it. What is this? The New Democratic Party? The New Democratic something out there in Canada? Progressive Political Parties Conference plunged into turmoil after giving minority groups equity cards. Guys, literal race cards. Okay? You know, you say, oh, they're playing the race card again. This one political party, they got together, they had a conference in Canada, and they actually created a race card system where you can, where like the progressive stack is now actually becoming codified. Okay, you show your badge and you see where you are in the pecking order as far as disability and skin color. And there's all types of disabilities going on there. And always remember, guys, we can sit back, we can mock, and we must. We must mock. We must. It is becoming a sacrament. We must mock them. But at the same time, you have to realize how serious this is. Because they are unthinking, unfeeling. They are the types that will look over your body completely disconnected from any kind of human emotion. Sociopathic, psychopathic, as you are strapped to a gurney and dismembered. I am not joking. I am not joking. They are not the Bolsheviks from 1917, no doubt about it. But they still want to kill. They're just physically incapable of doing it. They're emotionally incapacitated. The people who are doing a little bit more killing are those who are not really too ideological, but they're just off their, they've just been, you know, like inner city gang type of stuff. There's not a lot of ideology there. There's just unthinking, I want that, pew, pew, take it and leave kind of shit going on here. all the ideological types, they want to do that. They want to kill. And I'm sure at some point, maybe they will, I don't know what the hell. I mean, some of them bring themselves to do some pretty crazy things, but they are a little bit more incapacitated than the actual brute squads that were formed in the early 20th century. So that's where we have a little bit more time to actually identify and understand the danger here, while it's still able to be, I don't know, put into a fucking straitjacket. As if we're going to have the ability to do that. Who the hell knows? Oh man, I have some tasks for the army, for real. I have some tasks. It just get a little bit crazy. Here's one more for you. A No Kings protester. One more from Nate Friedman, because I just love analyzing the people that are just walking around these events. Hold on.
Do you feel that it's working?
You know, I almost didn't come out because I almost feel like it's too late.
Do you feel that Trump voters are like easily manipulated?
I feel like huge numbers of people were easily manipulated in 2024, yes. And it's, you know, it's a real problem for democracy. If we can't have a sufficiently educated populace to make educated decisions, we're going to end up with catastrophes like what we're about to live through.
A closed border is necessary for a country. What do you say to that?
I got two things to say about the whole immigration issue. Number one is, as a matter of physical geography, we have this huge land border with Mexico, which is a country that's very much less wealthy than we are, and people can come across the border and there are jobs waiting for them. It's like, it's not political, it's economic.
Yeah, well, there shouldn't be jobs waiting for them. And to be honest, that's not the case. It's if it was jobs, that's one thing in and of itself, which is why one way or another it needs to be applied across the board. If there are people that are coming into your country illegally, if they are just saying to hell with your immigration laws, to hell with it all, I'm coming and I'm taking whatever I can. I'm taking whatever job I can, whatever the hell it is, that's it. And you know what? Out of every 100, maybe there are a few that you would really, really like to have had as a neighbor, you know, who work their asses off, don't want anything handed to them. They actually really just came here to find a job, to show up, to be there, to be loyal to that job, and just to work. Number one, that's nicer than everybody else who's just showing up to take, because the real thing is that things are being given away. Okay? We wouldn't have these issues. You want to talk about caravans going back down south? Those would form the moment that all of the health care that we are subsidizing, that is collapsing under the weight of all this nonsense, and the access that people who do not deserve all of the resources are getting to it, the education. I mean, we're talking like every bubble is at least $1 trillion a piece. But healthcare and education, everything else in between, that is just too hopped from Washington, D.C., the Federal Reserve, to all these states where they then have the discretion to kind of put into one program or another that can go for whatever cause that they want. That's the problem. That's the problem. Like what? 89 million people came here and they're all employed. Are you serious? Are you serious? So this guy, well, he's not serious. He's an idiot, and he's protesting in favor of no kings. So if you show up, you're automatically not a serious person. But that's the whole thing here. It's economic, but it's not that people were going to come here. Even if they came here and they worked hard, but they're here illegally, that is something that drives down wages of people who do live here. And a lot of American politicians used to take that into very strong consideration, whether they were Republicans or Democrats, because if they had anybody in their respective districts that were down on their luck, that were looking for opportunities and were getting undercut by day laborers and everything else like that, and they couldn't find just something to latch onto and take that one step up the ladder, we're not even talking about that anymore. We're back. These people are back to talking about how the jobs that illegals are taking are jobs that Americans don't want, or it's beneath them to have. So once again, They're talking about slavery, and they're talking about the need to import a permanent dependent underclass who's going to do fucking ditch digging work, which used to have some dignity to it. There used to be dignity in all things. Yeah, maybe some jobs were dirtier than others, but I mean, as far as dignity of work, it's crazy what arguments are being made without actually expressly making them. They don't even know what arguments they're making. It's nuts. So this guy's an idiot, but let's continue just a couple more seconds.
Okay? Yeah. And, you know, I don't think there's a large constituency of people who believe in open borders, that we shouldn't have any border control.
I've spoken to a lot of people that say that.
Well, here today, probably. But what we can't abide is the kind of thuggery that we see going on with ICE.
Who's your pick for 2028? You know, who do you want?
I don't know. It's going to be a wide open field. I love AOC to death.
Oh, never mind. Thank you. Okay. Manipulated. People are manipulated. First person he brings up is the bird brain. All right. Okay. Jeez Louise, guys. Well, what did you expect? Anything different from that? I saw somebody else, this other disabled person, talking to God knows who, I forget, and he was bringing up the Charlottesville stuff, 2017. Oh, well, what about Trump, though? Give me something specifically about Trump. Well, he said that there are good people on all sides of like, wow, it's your cousin Brucey playing all the golden oldies. It's just nuts. Some people are still running the 2017 Charlottesville script. So I brought it up in the past. If you feel inclined to bring it up and to give your two thoughts about voting, who should be able to vote? Like, what should be the barrier? I know that's about 65% of the country, 65% of American, like as far as like home ownership and having land, owning land. That was a real thing there. Starting off, it was land ownership. Land ownership. And prior to the Civil War, there some states where they had more racial driven codes in there too, but there were plenty of states where black men were voting because they had land, and that was the criteria. You had to have some stake in the game. Black, white, whatever it is. Should we go back to property ownership again? Should it be a civics test? Like when you go to vote, should you have a 10-question test right there on the screen? It can be multiple choice. And if you score less than 70% or less than 60%, that's what it was for us in school, then you can't vote. I really want to discuss meaningful ways to disenfranchise people. Like how? Seriously, I'm being serious right now. Well, Frank really went off the deep end. Yeah. On nights like tonight, after weekends like this past one, even though I did not spend the whole weekend watching this shit, I noticed actually on Sunday morning that it was happening. Some stuff on Saturday, whatever, I saw it starting to pop up in my Instagram. I said, oh, is this old or is this another No Kings? Oh, I guess there was so I just started, forwarding myself clips whenever I saw them. I said, okay, we'll make a little pile here. But whenever I see stuff like this, I always ask myself, okay, well, how do we? They talk about disenfranchisement, and if you prove your identity when you go to a voting booth, that's going to stop. That's going to make voting less trustworthy, which is ridiculous. So even in that respect, they're telling you that they are not people of goodwill, and they are people of completely bad faith in all things, where they oppose everything that would tighten up something in practical ways to make a system more secure, a system more honest. They want dishonesty and they want insecurity so that there is a certain margin of chaos in which any kind of thing can be manually overridden to actually get around the whole democracy thing that they love about this country, they say. So I want to know, aside from all of their nonsensical bullshit drivel about disenfranchisement. How can we actually disenfranchise them? Because it's not like every Republican voter is somebody that's like, some patriot. They may think so, but everybody's very, very progressive. We have two progressive parties there. I would love to really start filtering out everybody. What do we do? So you can call in on that later on. And and that's what I have for you there. Okay, so real quick, everybody, because it is the 30th and tomorrow is the last day of the month. I just really want to put out there a big thank you and a big shout out to my good friends over there at Keto Brainz for sponsoring this show. It's very important for a show like mine to have sponsors that you can build a wonderful personal relationship with. Molly has definitely gone head over heels into this crowd, become a frankly, anybody who has dealt with Keto Brainz knows you get wonderful, wonderful customer service above and beyond everything. Everybody's made whole and then some. And for the next 2 days, until the end of March 31st, when we crack open my birthday month and Lauren's birthday month of April, the March Keto Brainz promo code for 15% off is still there. And every time you use that or any other Frankly code, then you're going to be in it to win it. Another prize package of over $600. Plus, I'm going to throw in a 20th anniversary shirt and maybe some more silver. I don't know. I want to just say thank you to Molly for not only giving my brain a boost every morning with the Keto Brainz, and it's just one of my favorite supplements that I use every day. There's so many other things that she's going to give away there, including that's a bag of the Pharmalogical bone broth at the top left-hand corner. I just got a bag of that. Incredible stuff. There's all types of Verso in there. There's the BPC 157. There's the peptides, beef liver capsules, things that are coming straight from Montana. Oh, man, what's that, a bourbon bar? What the hell's a bourbon bar? Well, you're going to get it if you win. So go ahead. Promo code MARCH. KetoBrainz.com. The link is in the description below. Thank you again, Molly, for being a wonderful friend of this show. And there you have it. Okay. Let's see. Jay Britz says, here's to a blessed Holy Week from an unassuming late-term boomer. I hate this show. Yes. Well, I love Holy Week. I really do. It's I don't know. It's always been a blend of exciting, nerve-wracking. Like all throughout all Holy Week, I think about Jerusalem from Palm Sunday onward, like everything up to and including Holy Thursday and the Last Supper, and then afterwards being seized. I mean, everything that week, it's just almost like, okay, well, what was going on now? And then when we read The Robe together as a part of the book club from 2 years ago, that was still one of my favorite reading experiences ever, because we were reading it right around around Easter time. That first reading was right there on Palm Sunday, and that's when it ended. The first couple of chapters, it was such an incredible read, The Robe. And if you ever wanted to, when you become a sponsor of the show, you get access to all of the film club and book club, the archives. You should definitely go back and read through some of those books and just follow along with all the archives of the book clubs and just be a part of it. All the book clubs are so great. Just fantastic. So it's always nerve-wracking to me too, because the passion is, it's intense. It's intense. And always counting down to Friday. All right, and then Easter Sunday is always like it's such a breath of fresh air. I love it now. I really do. As a kid, it's very hard to prioritize Easter over Christmas because of all of the presents and everything else. It's just a whole different level of pageantry. Very few people put up Easter lights. You have decorations and lights. There's a certain type of glow about, Christmas. You're heading into winter time, so maybe it's going to be white outside. And in Easter, you're coming, but Easter is another thing there too, coming into the spring. All the daffodils and the tulips are up usually. They're starting to pop up now. And depending on how warm it's been, and depending if it's a later Easter as well, then you get the forsythia bushes, those beautiful saffron bushes. I love it all. But it's flipping around for me now. You think about resurrection, how glorious, as opposed to the birth, which is also, incarnation is something else there too. But man, resurrection, how can you beat that? You can't. ST says, all I wish for my birthday on April 5th. Oh, ST's birthday is on Easter. Is for peace, no wars, which is what we were promised. Happy birthday, Frank. Holy Week is the best week. Blessings to all. Thank you, ST, and happy birthday to you. I don't get a birthday on Easter. I checked it out. Hold on. When is Easter on April 2nd? Easter is on... Wait. Dates for Easter. Let's see here. April. I think it was something like 2051 or something like that. I forget. 2051. I got some time to go. All right, let's see. Two Dogs Mike D says, how did she vote in the womb if she was just a clump of cells? I don't know. That's a great point. Wart Guy says, growing up in Brooklyn, we had the best Jewish bagels on Sunday after church. That with Sunday Paper and the Mets on Channel 9. You know what? That sounds fantastic. Even I would watch the Mets on Channel 9. I don't care. The Yankees on Channel 11. Bagels. I even like everything bagels. I like everything flagels. Onion bagels are all right. I can go with the cinnamon raisin bagels. If they are soft and fresh, just get me a nice thick layer of cream cheese in there, baby. Give me a coffee, and I will watch some baseball with you as well. On a fresh spring morning? Oh, yeah. Nostra Dumbass says, hey, Frank, repeat after me. A nail. Now say it fast. A nail. Never let it be said. Never let it be said this isn't a high-class outfit. A nail. What? Repeat after me. A nail. Now say it fast. A nail. A nail. A nail. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Sometimes I'm slow like that. Joe Martinez, thank you so much. Road Trip says, I'm in. And is King 40 allowed to watch streams during No Kings Week? Oh, you don't. You know. Oh, wait. Oh, Lauren just texted me, and she said, I think they were going for anal. Why? The anal comment. But why, Laura? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was it, but why? Anal. Anal? How does that make sense? I'm okay. Anyway, well, yeah, King and No Kings. Say it fast. A nail. A nail. Doesn't say, if I can say it faster and faster, it doesn't sound like anal to me. So, okay, over on Rumble, then I want to get around to this other, this is going to make you laugh. Awakened Boomer says, hey, Frank, lots in this show already. Play-Doh, Jesus on a plastic crucifix. Hungarian Kolalsh, a sweet bread similar to brioche. Hungarian Kolalsh. Hungarian Kolalsh after church. The 14th Amendment is illegal. And prayers for Tony Black. Yeah, I guess so. Here, take a listen to this. And then I got a call over here. This is the other one I got for you on the Canadian side of things. Progressive Political Party conference plunged into turmoil after giving minority groups equity cards to let them cut in line. With trans woman furious, a biological woman was allowed to go before her. Trans woman, a man, was furious that a real woman was allowed to go before her in line. Now, this right here, I believe, is a man as well. Look at those ears. Holy shit. They all look unwell, don't they? Even though they probably took a shower that day, put on a little bit of Brute. They all look unwell. Take a listen to this. 2 minutes and 21 minutes. It's you think that it's a skit.
I see that we are 1 minute ahead of schedule, and so I'm going to get out of here. The balloting co-chairs are returning, I believe. Now balloting co-chairs. There is a point. Let's hear the point on microphone 1.
I'm sorry, just real quick, point of personal privilege. I understand there's very
Looks like Bobby Lee, the comedian Bobby Lee.
little time and for delegates to speak, but early on the mic, it's hard as a racialized and transgender delegate to sometimes use this card and speak up, speak to somebody in front of me in line and ask, hey, this pertains to multiple intersecting parts of my lived experience. I'd like to speak. I was rejected when I talked. And it's frustrating when these are my rights being directly under attack right now in Alberta, and that a cisgender woman had spoken over me. And I understand.
Oh, wow. The final irony of feminism. A cisgendered woman spoke over me, and I had the card.
And her rights are important too. This pertains to her too.
But I'm special because I'm very ill.
But I don't know. I hope that in the future the federal NDP will also have a broader interpretation of the equity cards for speakers. That's all. Thank you.
I will invite delegates to assist me in better using the card by forming a straight line behind the microphone with a prominently displayed equity card. If I see speakers ahead of you who...
This is why nothing ever gets done. Like, we get to watch this and say, wow, oh, as long as they got together, they have their microphones and they're all playing their games and stuff like that. But nothing ever gets done at these places because they spend so much time, trying to draw up lines of distinction for each other and just constantly genuflecting before each other, sniffing each other's asses. Nothing ever gets done. It's like working at a YMCA. Nothing gets done at a YMCA. Okay? You have these little circles of clucking hen women that spend months working on non-issues. They circle back to you many times over the course of months to ask you the same question because they're still debating what to call the fitness starter package because everything sounds a little bit too aggressive and they don't want... This really happened to me once. When I was working at the YMCA. I can't tell you. There's so many stories I have. So many stories I still get because I know people that still work there. I said, they want to know, well, it's January's popping up and we want to encourage some people to have never worked out before, maybe to either join the gym in general or to be part of certain kind of a fitness class. Or could it be that they buy a special 5 or 10 ticket book of personal training tickets and sign up for semi-personal sessions or I don't know, semi-private session of, and so I remember being like, oh, call it the January Kickstarter package or something like that. I don't know, just like going around surveying people. A couple of weeks later, came back around asking the same question. What would you think about? I said, you're still doing this? So what are you doing? January's almost over. I said, why don't you just call it the Kickstarter package? Well, people thought that was, it sounded a little bit too aggressive, and we don't want people to be intimidated about coming to the gym. I said, well, anybody walks into this fucking gym and sees all the geriatrics on the, barely staying over their toes on the treadmills, and they feel in any way, shape, or form, intimidated, then I don't know what the hell to tell them. That was the worst part about working at the YMCA. especially at certain times in the day when all the old people show up. And I work out until the day that you drop. Do something. Go for a walk. Do something. That's why Tony stayed in such good shape for so long. Until the last 6 weeks of him not being able to walk, everything went. Do something. But I'll tell you, watching these 76 to 85-year-old people, and sometimes older, holding on to the treadmill and barely being able to keep up on one speed is, for hours I sat there. There they go, like ready to run. Horrible anxiety. Watching all these people, feet dragging behind them, leaning, putting it on the control grid over there. Would actually just lean there and just like be pushing. Their feet are behind them. It's like I had to go up to. I can't tell you how many of them, ma'am, sir. Do you mind if I give you a little bit of a pointer on this? You have to do something like that. You just don't lean. It's going to, secondary muscles. I tried to give some reasons why it's not going to be good for your shoulders, but just get over your feet. And that's what happens. People get lost in the weeds here. Lost in the weeds. That's an issue. How do we deal with the old people almost killing themselves every day on the treadmill issue? While the old people are getting dragged by the treadmills, we have gym staff running around for 3 months trying to figure out what the January starter package should be for personal training. That's what you got over here in Canada. And don't let their goofy, Dumbo-eared nature take you by surprise. Like I said, these are unfeeling sociopaths. If they had you strapped to a gurney in a dungeon somewhere, they would look over you like the aliens from Fire in the Sky and take pieces off, put pieces on, do whatever the hell they want without a second thought. Trust me on this.
Who are not holding a card prominently, it would be wrong of me to guess about their gender identity, and I will come to you. This applies so far, according to your rules, for gender identities other than a dude, but it is open to us to change our rules as we like as we move forward.
Did you say other? He say other than a dude? A dude.
Into the bright and golden future. Thank you, friends. Let's hear the balloting co-chairs.
Oh, what awful people. What an awful person.
I'm directed to a point on microphone 3.
Point of information. I'm not sure if it's appropriate for me to bring a point of privilege around an emergent issue with some job loss in my workplace.
If it is impairing your ability to participate in the meeting, it is a correct point of privilege. If you'd like an announcement to be made from the stage, we can arrange for that, and then the delegates can hear it from here. Not right now.
So, okay, bring it to you.
Bring it to me. Thank you. We'll find a way.
And then we'll slap you around, looking around. Oh, well, there's just they just feel like this is where I'm supposed. Yes, I know. I have this room under control. Don't worry. There's one more for you. One more.
Thank you, delegate. There's a point of privilege on microphone 1, then we'll go to microphone 3. Go ahead, delegate.
Yes, hello. I was standing here with my gender equity card before you called on the previous speaker. That's my point of privilege that I would like to raise.
I will explain the speaking order, which is fixed, that I cannot amend, which is the pro-con rotation. You can move yourself up a line that you're standing in.
I am pro, and I was...
We went...
You went pro, con...
We went pro-con, pro, and my plan was to go con. The speaker at con mic 3 also has a speaking card.
Yesterday, this card was used in an inappropriate manner. And while I understand in Ontario we note this as equity, even if this was also used inappropriately in terms of gender. I want everyone to be mindful that these cards for individuals like myself who identify as a Black woman have no value outside of this space.
You're right. Absolutely no value. They are pieces of insanity that are only honored in crazy places. I don't know how to say this, but everybody at this convention should have been locked inside the building. and processed for deportation to some kind of an island. No matter who they are, how long their family had been in the country, everybody in this building is a danger to Western civilization. Literal race cards. Okay? They should have been locked inside, kept comfortable, and processed for deportation. We can find a nice island that has not really inhabited, good weather. They're not in a hurricane zone or anything like that. That was a major opportunity lost. Major opportunity lost. Wow. So, I mean, this is just crazy. Privilege cards and race cards, they've turned them into physical things, into physical realities. It's just so much. All right, let's open up the lines. It's 8:27. We have a little bit of time left. There's so much. We did a lot. We did really a lot. And I hope that I hear from some of you guys because it's been a long weekend, and it'd be good to hear from everybody in the chat. Please like, share, comment. I would love to. Let's get the likes on YouTube like up to 500 or so before the show even ends. Rumble, hey Rumble, let's go. Step it up. Let's go. Step it up, Rumble. Rumble was supposed to have taken over YouTube, and it's kind of petering. So let's see. Let's get some likes going and all that stuff. Like, share, and comment, please. And we're going to take your calls, 914-200-0269. Let's take a call from John in Connecticut. What's going on, John?
Hey, give me a second here. Hey, what do you think, kid? Yeah, there's some evil in the air, man. Do you feel it? I think Jesus just flipped the tables over on everybody. Sort of. I'm feeling it. Holy cow. One of my buddies was giving me crap today about stuff. I mean, he's a good guy, but he was busting my balls saying, oh, my gas prices are up, this and that. What do you mean? He likes Trump, whatever, right? But holy shit, the geopolitical thing of everything, right? But think about, let's think a little biblical, right?
Yes.
Right? The time at a time, right?
Yes.
The guys, walking on the street and they got the palms and everything, and Jesus is good, right? And then next week, how you doing? Crucifix, right? And then all of a sudden, 3 days after, whatever. But yeah, this is.
John should actually do the Stations of the Cross. I would go to Stations of the Cross if Willie was the one that was doing it.
I did it. I've done that shit. I know that shit. I was an altar boy, everything, all that crap. Whatever. We never had the priests messing with us, but they were messing with the other boys down the way around. That's kind of why I went to just loving Jesus and God and almost an American Indian kind of religion. But however, whatever. But we're definitely in between good and evil, no question. And this whole thing that's happening right now, and there is so much evil getting pumped out on the interwebs, right?
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Oh, I'm with you.
My buddy came over with all the shit, and all they see is the gas prices up. The gas prices up. They don't see that we're not going to die by a nuclear weapon or some shit. It's I don't even know how to explain it, Frank, but I think you're doing a great job and doing your thing, and I think you're going to make it. You're going to win. Or whatever you said the other day you said you want to do. I think you're going to make it, and I'm just trying to manifest the good stuff. Take the bad with the good, but just don't dwell on the negative, because the negative dwelling manifests negative dwelling all over the place, right?
You're right.
You just got to be happy, right? And this is the happiest time. This is like Christmas, except it's Easter, right? And that's the best time for us, right? We don't want to talk about the 100 people that got killed, and the Islamis were killing the Christians in Africa, right? We don't want to talk about that. Well, we should talk about that, but we should just all think happy. And if everybody's happy, right, and we got to make gay, right? We got to make gay happy again, right? We got to
Yes.
take the word gay back. We got to take the fucking rainbow back, and we're just going to have a gay old time. And that's all there is to it.
Thank
Well, I want to hear your report with that. And damn, how come you didn't make the palm things this weekend? Are you making them next weekend?
Yeah, well,
you always made them crosses, but all right.
yes, the palm crosses. I usually do make them, and you know what I did? I wasn't able to do them yesterday, so today I was going to sit down and do a few of them, and the palms they've already become too crispy to bend. So Lauren suggested, thank you for the call, Willie. Lauren suggested that maybe I should put the palms inside, kind of moisten them back up by, just starting the shower up or something like that, and just letting the restroom get all smoky and humid. I don't know. I'm pretty good with the crosses now. The basic cross. I did some other kind of weaving about 3 or 4 years ago. I gotta get into that a little bit more. But yeah, Willie, really good point there. I feel very gay right now. Extremely gay. Gay in name only, as we say on the flip side. I think that's what we're going to do in 2026. I'm going to try to use the word gay for happy more often. And if people don't understand what I mean, that's their problem. Okay? But yeah, as far as what he meant about winning, it was in John Otter had asked me on the Sunday stream yesterday, where do you see yourself where do you want to see yourself in a year? I said, I want to win. I said, and winning in my point of view, my perspective is it's not like AM FM radio wars where everybody is vying for the same attention on the same, they're on this, trying to, you've got all these competitors around you and all that stuff, and you're trying to get the best ratings and all that. Internet's a completely wide open thing. And I've got to find the best workflow. I'm always tinkering with the workflow to find the people that are looking for this show. There are billions of people on this planet. I don't know how many billions there are, but there are billions of people on this planet. And I really think that there are a few million who are looking for this show. And that's all I care about. I want to win. I want to find that audience to join you guys. And I want to take this thing to a new generation of the show. That's what it is. So I'm keeping that in mind as we do all of our nonstop work and tinkering and fiddling and meddling and finding new flows and having a good time. All right. Here is a voicemail. Remember, you can if you're listening to this after the fact, you can leave us a voicemail for the next day. Speakpipe.com/quite frankly. This is from Kenny in Cleveland.
Hey, Frank, it's Kenny. Quick point on the No Kings protests that we were all subjected to over the weekend. I mean, at this point, no one knows what they're protesting. No one knows what they have been protesting over the last, 10 years at this point. I think it's becoming a bigger thing, and I think it's going to get worse. It's just a freak fest. It's just an excuse for all these freaks and weirdos and, lost souls to just get together, and it's almost not even a protest.
You're right.
It's just it's something I can't describe. It's funny, it's sad, it's weird, it's concerning. But it's just these festivals that get brought together, and it's just weird and it's bizarre to me. But I'm trying to be nice because it's Holy Week, and I want everyone to have a clear heart and a clear mind and some peace. But this is just weird to me. And I just think it's going to keep progressing to get even weirder, because this whole No Kings conglomerate is just a circus of freaks. And they just seem to be getting bigger and bigger and freakier. And it's hilarious to me at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's funny. It's concerning. It's freakish. I guess they had a lot more money in their slush funds than we thought. Then again, we have not seen too much money stop flowing. The debt still goes up when we're dealing with spending budgets that are in the many trillions every year. Every 12 months, trillions are pledged, and programs that are so full of corrupt. It's not even just like, okay, well, this year we're spending X amount more on books for kids, and it's even just the legacy programs in Medicare, in there's education, there's wherever the hell it is, Social Security. That in itself is an endless supply of money. Endless supply of money. Things that would be life-changing for us, but maybe wouldn't be just dropping the bucket for them. Endless supply. I guess they haven't been squeezed off from all of their resources, because at any time they need to get people together across the country and their respective cities and stuff, they do. It doesn't become any more impressive. It doesn't create any momentum. But there is some kind of a ritualistic group exercise, kind of a messaging ceremony that goes on. There's a connectivity to it all. It's weird and just weird. As far as everything else goes, I had this. I think we might watch this on the flip side. It's 11 minutes long. All of a sudden, this Promethean, people are all over the place. And they have their theories about what's really going on in Iran. They are very hopeful about what's happening, that the world is being crafted. The new balance of power in the world is being recrafted and reshifted in ways that are actually going to be very liberating over time, and very promising for America in particular, and reestablishing ourselves as a prominent world power and whatever. It's 11 minutes long. I think we might watch this maybe in 1 1/4 speed on the flip side, because I want to know what you guys think about it. We're running out of time right now, but still, we'll take a call. From Aaron, go ahead.
Hey, Frank and Franklies, thank you for taking my call. I call them queerdos. And queerdos, yeah.
Queerdos.
And so there weren't, I got to tell you, I graduated in 1980, and there was 0 people in my class that identified anything other than what they were born as, which I think was always the case. So it's a completely manufactured thing to get us not to breed, to get a certain percentage of us not to breed, and to eliminate us, basically, replace us.
Well, it's well,
I think.
Well, it's very well said, and thank you for giving me the segue into this next thing. It's Aaron Moriarty, everybody. Thank you so much. Here is one of the people that was helping engineer it. Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock. I mean, like, I'm not going to make him into a mastermind, but he's definitely carries water at a very high level. He was pushing the whole ESG thing. We're not talking about ESG anymore. The environmentalism, the social deconstructionism kind of stuff. But he was a big part of what they're saying. Wide Awake Media says now concedes that the woke era was a failed experiment. So BlackRock was out there instrumental in pretty much seeding so many operations, so many companies, startups, whatever the hell it is, tech, anywhere they can get their fingers in. That one of the ways and the criterion for getting this money for whatever the hell their project is was to implement strict ESG guidelines and also racial, sexual, all types of identity-based policies in their company's bylaws, and to really force new behaviors onto America. Okay? He even said this, and I know that in the comments somebody put it in there because I was looking for it, and thankfully somebody put it in. This was him in 2017. And we were all talking about it together. I said, wow, he actually had the nerve to come out and say this, where he said, what does ESG even mean? What is this all really about? Take a listen to what he said.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. you have to force behaviors. And at BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We're
forcing behaviors, for those of you who can't hear, because suddenly the media is very low. 50%. So he's talking about how he's forcing new behaviors on corporate level, which of course is going to trickle down to everywhere else. The hiring practices were getting very pro women over men. It had nothing to do with meritocracy. It had nothing to do with value or quality. It was just basically about genitalia, skin color, and how you like to have orgasms. And here he is just talking about how, we are, as a very, very powerful, influential financial house and lender, we are going to twist the arm of people in the corporate world and anywhere else that just needs some money to bring an idea to fruition. We are going to twist arms to change and re-engineer human behavior.
added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year. And
so requiring people have diversity quotas. That at this point over here, they say it's 2017. Whenever the hell it was, I remember we were talking about this video. And he's just saying right there, we have 4 more points that have to be abided by if you're going to get all of our money. So essentially, it's just like everything else. Like if you took COVID money during the lockdowns, it came with certain obligations and certain things you had to obey if the government said you can't open up or you have to close down, whatever the hell it was. It all comes with strings attached. And this is how they were positioning themselves to try to bring in this new toxic form of humanity that is falling apart at the seams. I mean, the fruit of that rotten tree is what we just watched in Canada. People are just they're in a tailspin. Everybody we just saw there who actually had the nerve to show up at that new Democratic Party get together in Canada, those are the people who have the courage to leave the house. You know, so many more people than what we just saw there on screen are in a complete tailspin because of the types of cultural talking points that have been pushed out there and forced into the world by people like Larry Fink and all of his meddling friends.
What we're doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay?
We're doing the same thing.
And so it's just...
See his friend right next to him. We're doing the same thing. If you don't make people gay and non-white enough, then you're not going... The money's going to stop flowing to you.
You have to force behaviors.
So that was that. But nobody wants, and we've been very, very clear about this, nobody wants the transgender bathing suits for toddlers at Target anymore. Nobody cares about Black Wheelchair Santa ornaments anymore. We do, but for another reason. And here is Larry Fink, just yesterday, I think, or the day before, talking about how the woke era was a failed experiment.
Do you believe the woke era a failed experiment? The ESG, the DEI, the kind of push for that? That when you talk about things now, you talk in a practical sense, what we can do, what we can get done. Looking back at that, how do you see it?
Society moves, the pendulum moves all the time. In BlackRock's cases, we are responsible for managing money for everybody. And even today, as you said, maybe these, renewables are less talked about it. I can tell you right now, we have many investors worldwide are investing in renewables, trying to emphasize solar and other things like that. They're trying to...
You wanted to make people gay, Larry. You wanted people to be talking nonstop about gay. What are you talking about? Well, the pendulum swings here. No, you were pushing the pendulum. You were forcing behavior. You weren't following the trend. You were forcing behavior. Now, I know you're on Fox News and you're not going to get really, crucified here, but I wish somebody would.
We're working with Occidental Petroleum right now to building the best car.
Stop talking about petroleum and talk about all the diddling that you were forcing.
And capture factories in Texas right now. So do I believe the pendulum 5 years ago was too far? Yes. You do. I believe
you were pushing it. I mean, it's crazy. Brett Baer, if he had any kind of journalistic integrity, he would actually play what he said, as if Larry Fink was holding on to dear life while the country went to a crazy identity crisis.
More I'm personally more pragmatic too. And I believe...
But do you think BlackRock pushed some companies a little bit further left than you thought?
It was never our intention, because our job is to be... I got to be a fiduciary to everybody who gives us money. Our responsibility...
You were telling people if they wanted to get paid, they have to push DEI and gender identity nonsense. That is not in any way, shape, or form profitable. That inspires nothing but backlash. But the money doesn't mean anything to BlackRock. Changing the world and human behavior does. What a fucking snake. What a fucking snake. Look at that snake. God. And here we are. Here we are, pinching pennies. Pinching pennies because so much of what we make is siphoned off. My mind goes to dark places. Such dark places every 15 minutes.
Is to making sure if one of our investors wants to invest 100% in hydrocarbons in Texas, I'm investing 100% of the money in Texas. If another
go ahead, go keep dragging this off course.
State fund wants us to invest in, let's say, all green energy, we're going to do that. It's their money. But today, because of AI, the overwhelming...
So you're not going to get anything out of this snake. So ESG initiatives, DEI, it is, you're going to... People are trying to find a way to get away from it, and what is going to be left behind is essentially going to be low tide at the pier. Low tide at the pier being the National Democrat Party convention up there in Canada. And, of course, no kings. That's low tide at the pier. Those are the people who took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. They took it all. They swallowed it down because of snakes, meddling snakes like Larry Fink, who were pushing this and encouraging people this was the future and seize the power right now. You're something special because the way you like to jizz, and you should be a CEO because of it. Forget about skills. You're a queen. You're a queen. You walk out of the house every morning with all of your tote bags and your coffee, and you're just slaying the world, queen. Fuck. Anyway, there's a little something from Larry Stink. Can't take it anymore. So, what's everybody doing in the chat room? The banksters that own him want him to force behavior. Yes, you're right, Brian. Absolutely. Just saying hello to everybody over there on Instagram and I'm sorry, not Instagram, on YouTube and Rumble, Foxhole, D Live. I gotta release the D Live treasure chest, by the way. Haven't done that in a while. So much. Oh, you know what? Coffee and buttered rolls. Let me see what people are saying. Christy Laura Grace, our friend Christy, says, going with my grandparents and youngest uncle to church, who just passed. We made breakfast inside or outside, depending on the weather. Fluffy eggs with potatoes in the cast iron skillet over the fire outside if it was warm out. Otherwise, we went to the diner. I remember getting eggs, fruit, raisin bread, pudding with lemon dressing. Those were the days. Oh, man. Cast iron. I think I might have an omelet when I leave here. I did not eat enough today at all. I think I'm ready to eat. Let's see here. Steph in New York said yes, buttered rolls and buns. My dad used to get them from German Bake Shop on White Plains Road in the Bronx. Gemini Girl says yes, coffee and buttered rolls. Linda Love, our lovely Linda Love, says, I remember listening to Casey Kasem, America's Top 40 on the way home from CCD every Sunday. Phantom Shadow just gave me a big pile of spaghetti. I'll take it. That looks fantastic. Stetoda Grossa says little pots of jelly or egg custard after midnight mass when it was a midnight. For Americans, that's Jello. Oh, Jello. Egg custard. I'll take the egg custard. Jello's all right, but I don't know. It's weird. Serendipity. Jelly donuts. My dad got them for us in the hard rolls. I miss those days. Yeah, I'm trying to bring them back. Buttered rolls and coffee. Easter bread today, says Layla. That was on Sunday. Ginster says Sunday dinner with the family at about 2 p.m. with my grandfather drinking his homemade wine diluted with 7-Up and my mother's spaghetti and tomato sauce, followed by the best cannoli from the local bakery. Deplorable taxpayer says after 7:30 a.m. mass, our grandparents came over for breakfast. Grandma would often bring donuts. Mom would cook breakfast, sausage, eggs, pancakes. We sat around the table visiting, often until noon. Fond memories. Thanks for reminding me. And then Aloysius Buongiorno says hot tea, English breakfast, and a Danish. Danish is fine by me. You passed the test. I'm sure everybody is very hungry right now. Oh, okay, real quick through the names over here on Pilled. JR at the lake, not your mom, says, feel better, Frank. I will a little bit. I just got to eat a little something. I got to get to bed as early as I can. I don't know how early that's going to be. JR says, any sugar cereal and cartoons. Cocoa Puffs. With the Cocoa Bird. The Cocoa Puffs for sure. If I'm gonna go back to the sugar cereal, Cocoa Puffs. We'll talk about this on the flip side tonight. Cocoa Puffs. A nice, ripe banana in there too. Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, mixing Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles together. Cocoa Krispies were all right. But, oh man, we're going to have a good time on the flip side. Yeah, I'm going nuts right now. Let's see here. Hey, Frank and Frank, thank you, Silly Boar. Mulberry says prayers for Tony Black. Prayers. Offer him up, please. Did someone call for a boomer, says Tommy Jekyll. And I did not ruin the country. Should have been more aware, though. Well, no, listen. There are plenty of people who are members of that generation that aren't that woman. That aren't represented, that their mindset, that their behavior, that their logic, their logical reasoning is not represented by that woman. But that is a very, very strong contingent of what's left behind right now. Obviously not the same people as they were in the 70s. Not the same people they were in the 80s and the 90s. Like something just changes. It's like, the milk goes bad. You have the aging of fine wine, and then you have other people who just age like milk. Let's see. Corey, thank you so much. Tommy Jekyll, Super D, Safety Net, group hug to all the Frankly family. Amethyst Cat, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Vesper says, my forsythia is starting to bloom. It means Frank's birthday is near. Nathan says, on an entirely unrelated note, I haven't had a haircut since November 19th. Perhaps it's, geez. Good for you. Crickles. If I didn't have a haircut since November 19th, I'd look like a mad scientist. Crickles says, palms are burned for next year's Ash Wednesday. Blessed Holy Week to those who celebrate. Super D, JR at the lake. Thank you, Tommy. There's a lot there are. I know some that are personally. Good. That's all I have for you. Darkheart Hemi says, is lab-grown meat halal? I think so. That sounds about right. Vixter27 says, I love the crazy Frank, but I hate this show. Thank you, Vixter. It's good to have you out there. And I think that's it for tonight. I really do. We had a good one. Tonight. And I'm happy for all of your support. Now, in the meantime, we're going to be heading over to the flip side. We'll be going until the lights go off tonight. Let me see here. Take that. I'm going to put this in the chat room right now. Come to the flip side, yo. I think the Yankees are on tonight at 9:40. They're in Seattle, so that's something that'll keep me awake. I put it in there. Come to the flip side. It'd be great to have you by. And that's all I have. Tomorrow, we'll do some more. We got a couple of great guests. Maybe we'll talk about the Freemasons that are about to be put on trial out there and what that means for conspiracy theorists all over the place. I know Jay Dyer has done a lot of work on that. So has Timothy. And then on we go. I think on Wednesday night for April Fool's Day, I'm going to see if we can get Matt from Cultivate Elevate to come in. I would love Matt to come in too. So should be a good week. Okay? Thank you all so much. Oh, real quick. Not only do I need you guys to consider becoming a sponsor of the show, and if anything else, just patronize our wonderful sponsors because they, like Keto Brainz, they support us, and that's wonderful. But if you are a patron on Patreon, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. Nothing like fishy, but as far as notifications as to whether or not your pledge is still active, I think that there are a lot of people in this audience who think their pledges are still active. And there's nearly 300 people who are pledged but have gone inactive. Now, I have to just assume that if it's the time to take a break or whatever the hell, people just switch platforms sometimes. There's a lot of reasons why you get turnover over the course of many years, and that's why it's on me to provide people a reason to become a sponsor and stay a sponsor of the show. But when I see that many people who are just inactive but still pledged, I have to imagine that at least some of you guys out there think you're still supporting the show. And I just don't think that there's any good notification systems over there on Patreon. So please, if you're a sponsor on Patreon, go check to see if you're actually sponsoring, because it would be a wonderful birthday gift to have any number of the people who are just kind of floating in stasis over there, just floating in space, floating in the waters above the firmament. I would love to get you back into the fray because we have some big things to accomplish this year, and growing that margin is a huge part of it. So thank you all. I'll catch you on the flip side. Head over there right now. The links are in the chat room. I'll drop it in again.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Oh, Quite Frankly's Film of Our live studio audience, and now the Super Chatters. Thank you so much to all of you. You're fantastic. ST, J Brits, Rodney Journal, over on Twitch. Thank you so much. Two Dogs, Mike D, Wart Guy, Nostradumbass, and Joe Martinez. Not to be outdone by Road Trip 70. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to all of our Rumble ranters and Pilled. Foxhole, we're getting to you right now. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody.